this crisis is no longer called a climate crisis, but for me, it's a crisis of welcoming. How are we going to welcome our brothers and sisters who are being affected by climate change, who does not have any choice at all but to move out of Tuvalu, to move out of Kiribati? But the question is, where to from here? And I think Emily mentioned it before, or kind of like mentioned that Aotearoa is probably the nearest destination for the Pacific Island people who will be displaced. Aotearoa is the next destination for these people. But again, how are we going to welcome them? Will we see them as family, or we will see them as climate refugees? And that's a term that has been highlighted by Mina, that they migrate with, is it integrity or what's the term again? Migrate with, but not refugees. Dignity.
Dignity.
Yeah. Migrate with dignity. It's just something that I want to probably finish off this whole conversation from my side, is for us to consider that it's now it's the crisis of welcoming. Are we ready here in Aotearoa? And it can be a question that you can ask from England or Scotland. Are we ready to welcome those people that's been affected by climate change? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's profound. And I think that speaks powerfully to the broader question of who is my neighbour that we've been thinking about quite a lot here in Newcastle, or beginning to think about, and that's a real illustration of how to think into that question. Emily, if you've got any words of wisdom to add to that as we finish up.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that if you've ever been to the Pacific Islands, you'll know that the communities there are these are Christian communities, and so we are a prayerful people. And so I do think recognizing prayer as an act of solidarity and joining with those who are already praying, and praying pretty desperately at this point in lots of instances. And so I would want to say understanding prayer as an act of solidarity, and then praying with your hands, like prayer as action. And there's that really challenging passage, I think, in the book of Amos, where Amos is speaking on behalf of God, and God says, your prayers are like nothing unless there is justice. And so the idea of prayer or worship as justice. And so for me, there's prayer as action, and whether that's action on the we talk about the flax roots, but the grassroots, within action within your immediate communities, but then more broadly, acting into bigger movements whether they're protest movements, whether they are movements that, whether it's tree planting, whether it's, organizing, as Elizabeth showed, organizing events within your community, or whether it's writing to your MP. So prayer as action as well, I think, is being really important. But I think, yeah, I think being mindful of people for whom this isn't something that's a far off reality, but that is tangibly and terrifyingly present. And asking, what does it mean to act in solidarity with, prayerful solidarity with.
Thank you. That's really powerful. And I think